Like as insane as like having sex with a ghost. Have you ever had sex with a ghost?
I have not. I don't know if I'll do that at all, but
You're
I
not
mean,
into that? You're not into
no.
the ghost sex?
Yeah, is that an actual real thing?
Yeah. Well, Kesha said she's had sex with a ghost.
What? What?
And same with
Why would you
Lucy
even say
Liu.
that?
Both Lucy Liu and Kesha have said that they've had sex with a ghost. Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt out in very hot California. Adam Glyn is on the other side of the country. How's the weather out there? I mean, we're going to sound like a bunch of old men right now talking, but how is the weather over there?
I'm in very humid New York City, but I love it. I enjoy it. I appreciate it. I enjoy it. You know what,
Well, you
Dax?
like the heat or you like humidity?
I will take it both. And the reason is I work outside and the winters are so long here that it's tough on my body. It's tough, and I wear so many layers. I have this Canada Goose jacket, which are you familiar with Canada Goose?
Yeah, this is the one you didn't steal. You did something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I got it for free. I didn't steal it, but I got it for free. I used my I don't know. I complained. I don't know. I did something. I got it for free. Anyway, it was the best thing I did. But it's like during the winter, I'm like a bear. I'm rubbing against poles to itch my back. I just have so many layers on that. When the summer comes, I appreciate it. I love coming home all gross and sweaty and taking a good shower. So it's
I hate being sweaty hot all the time.
I'm so used to it, and I wear like those like Under Armour type shirts. That's sort of like I don't know. I love it. I love it. You know what it is, Dax? I got to be honest with you. I'm trying to figure out now if my work is going to be in jeopardy
because
because
of the
I don't.
strike.
Yeah, it's not that I won't find celebrities, but I'm wondering if celebrities will use that as a cop out to get out of interviews. Like, oh, I can't talk to you. The strike. I'm like, actually, you can. You just can't promote a product. Or I mean, promote a series or show, a project. Yeah. So it's weird. I know the morning shows now are like struggling to get guests, like shows like Live with Kelly and the morning shows. Like they still need content to fill the gaps in.
But that's the only reason people go on those big shows is to promote a project. So if you're not promoting something, why would you go on Live with Kelly or one of the other shows? Because then you just look like a scab, right? Like you look like you're going against everyone unless you're there to just talk about the strike. But you can't only talk about the strike every time that you go on a show.
Yeah. What I think is, sort of like what happened during the pandemic and COVID, there's going to be celebrities that ask themselves questions. How do I take advantage of the situation? So for example, I think that celebrities are going to go to brands and start doing content with brands on their own social media to make money. Because again, a lot of these people need to make money. They're going to want to move ahead. How do you take advantage of this?
I'm curious to see how long. I'm curious to see how long this whole thing will end up lasting, because it could be months and months and months. We have no idea at this point. It depends on how quickly the union comes to an agreement with these big production houses or movie networks and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, dude. Could be out of content for quite some time.
I think it's going to be a long time. I think it's going to be a really long time until we get. When I mean a long time, I think it's going to be till mid-fall. That's my guess until they find out a solution, because it's going to be a standstill for a while, and I think it's not going to be until at least November where we start to kind of
which is scary for people who are writers or actors that aren't the big names, that haven't made the ton of money, like they're kind of like that C-list star or someone who's getting cast in just random episodes. Like they're the ones totally getting boned right now. Well, I guess two reasons. Number one, they're not getting paid the fair wages that they should be getting on a normal basis. But then now you're out of work and you can't find anything. So like, that sucks. Like you're not like Jennifer Aniston, who's like, oh, I've got millions. It doesn't matter if there's writer strike necessarily. She'll be fine,
So what I've been doing is, I only did it one day last week. I think it was Friday. If someone is out there listening to this who is based in New York or based in LA and wants to see a celebrity in their natural habitat, go to the strikes, go to the picket lines, and you'll see the people kind of walking with signs. I went by one the other day, and it was Times Square. I didn't see any celebrities walking. However, it's weird. I don't know if the celebrities will be cool or not, if like they'll take photos with you or sign autographs when they're striking. I have to imagine they would, because there's just so many eyes or peers are seeing them. So I got to imagine they'd want to be, look a little bit decent as a person. Plus, they want people to be on their side for the strike.
Sorry, are the big news anchors, are they all still on the air?
They are. So apparently radio and like the morning show, like those kind of news anchors, they are still doing their stuff because they are union. However, they're considered like multimedia. They're kind of like a different sort of niche.
A different category.
So they're able to still do their programs. They're not affected. So some of those people, actually, it's funny. I talked to a big radio personality, and they're like sort of pissed, like, ugh, I still have to work, like, but I was like, yeah, you're not going to get paid. So
yeah, exactly. Think how many people would love to be in your position right now and get a paycheck at the end of the day.
I know, Dax, but before we move on, what are you watching on TV right now? I need some recommendations of some shows to watch.
Jury Duty.
You're still watching that?
Yeah, well,
do you think it was that good?
There's a lot going on. I'm very busy, and so there's like random nights that we can sit down and keep watching. So I'm only like a couple episodes in, just because we've been so busy lately with summertime. It's like, I feel like we're constantly out, we're hanging out with friends or staying up late or whatever. So I just haven't gotten through that much of it, but it's really like the more episodes I get into, the funnier it gets.
I see. I thought it was, it's not my humor. I think there's,
how many episodes you get into?
I saw a few. I mean, it was fine. It was just like, it was a cute thing. I don't know if I could watch it again. It was like something to watch.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't rewatch it. It's not like a movie that you want to rewatch, but it's funny while it's going on.
Do you watch Impractical Jokers?
I love that show. It's so freaking funny.
See, we have different senses of humor. You like Impractical Jokers. I like Jackass. Like that's just, I'm more of a Jackass guy.
Impractical Jokers is so freaking funny. You ever watch the Carbonaro Effect?
I actually enjoy it. It's not like I find it funny. I do. It's cute. It's fun, but it's really just more of a fun show to me. I won't like. It's not like I'll watch marathons of it. I just like, if it's on, I'll watch it for a little bit.
I don't even know if the show is still like on. Like, I don't know if they're in production or that they even make new seasons of that show. But I've watched so many, and they do a good job with that. Yeah, I watch. You know what I honestly, the show I watch the most is probably Pawn Stars. I love Pawn Stars. I just find that show. Do you not like that show? I've ever watched an episode of Pawn Stars.
I find it.
I know it's a big deal, but I don't think I've ever watched an episode.
Really, I watch a lot of Pawn Stars, and I watch American Pickers a little bit, and then I watch like these like restoration car shows. I'm not even a car guy, but I appreciate these car shows. But I've been going on Hulu trying to watch like new shows and find something, but I feel like there's just nothing on right now.
Well, don't get excited because there's nothing coming down the pipeline at this moment.
Maybe The Bachelor. I'll watch. You know what? I might watch The Old Bachelor. Are you gonna watch The Bachelor with the old guy?
No.
The Bachelor now they call it like the Golden Bachelor, and they're picking a senior.
Still no. I just we got out of the Bachelorette, like the franchises a long time ago, just because I don't know, they switched it up and I didn't like the switch up so much, and we stopped watching it. So it's hard to get back into a show like that when you're been out of it for so long.
All right. Well, the Golden one is something I might watch because I'm just kind of curious. But again, I don't watch The Bachelor. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if I said this recently, but I ran into the new Bachelorettes recently. Charity.
Yeah. Is it cool?
Ooh.
Oh, not cool.
Not cool. Not nice. Like, just sucked. She just sucked. And as a person, she just sucked. And people were like, why? Ooh, you maybe. No, she just was not pleasant.
You're just bleh.
Yes. So just not cool. And it's like, if you had that job, you should just be so fortunate, so appreciative. And I think I said, if you're 30 guys competing for her, I think some of those guys would be like, yeah, guys, maybe we shouldn't be competing. This is not worth the fight.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's
It's
obsessed
not
about this
worth
girl.
the fight.
It's
This is
not worth the fight. You could have her. Just take her. Take her off my back. All right, Dax, why don't we talk about what today's episode
Well,
we were
today's
discussing?
episode, it was funny because a couple weeks back we did an episode where we talked all about like the real birth names of a lot of celebrities and like just random facts. And the episode blew up and people hit me up and they're in my DMs. They're like, that was my favorite episode. I loved all the random history and knowledge and facts and things that you guys were putting out there. So, Adam and I were talking about just the random weird things that we've come across in Hollywood. And we started brainstorming, and there's a lot of like fun, random things that people don't know about. Like, well, I'll get into it. But and so we're just gonna devote an episode towards Hollywood is freaking weird. And that's all it comes down to. There's a lot of weird stuff that you don't know that has either happened or that's going on, or yeah, and so we're gonna dish out some of that knowledge to you guys, but I should probably get to a review real fast. Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
All right. This one comes from Gemma's grandma. Oh, 4 stars. I don't even know if I should be reading this. It says Prince Harry and Meghan, great podcast, but Dax, you're wrong. Harry and Meghan aren't good people. Too many lies and very mean. I give them 3 years. Yikes. Gemma's grandma is not happy with Meghan and Harry.
I can't blame them.
I know. Okay, listen. Here's the deal with Meghan and Harry. I want so hard to believe them in the deepest parts of my soul. It's just they make it very hard to be on their team.
I guess
that's what it really comes down to. I want to cheer them along, but they make it really hard because they just keep doing dumb crap. So
yeah.
All right, fine. Maybe I've.
You know what's so funny? Speaking of Harry and Meghan, I ran into some people yesterday, and they asked me who is the most expensive shot. Who's the one who will continuously make the most money? And who would you say is like if any? I said it was Meghan Markle. That the photo of them is always the most valuable.
I would say that, yeah. I would say they're constantly wrapped up in controversy. And plus, it could just be them out walking around in California or New York or wherever. And it's like, it's them here in the US, which is just a part of a bigger story. And so people will post that too. So it doesn't really matter what they're doing. The photo will sell.
Well, they told me they're like, well, actually, we were just, I guess this is the last time they were in New York City. They were at this restaurant, this people I know. They're at La Conde Verde, and their company rented out the private room. They just, I guess, reserved the private room to eat. And Prince Harry and Meghan came, and they couldn't use the private room, so they eat like in the middle of the restaurant with everyone. And I think that's just got to be a sight to see. If you're in the room eating at a restaurant, and Meghan and Harry are there, how do you not just keep looking, staring, seeing what they're ordering?
100%.
I
would not be able to focus
when the
on
bill
my
comes,
conversation.
everything. Yeah,
I'm one of those people that like I would keep like as much as the conversation with whoever I'm there with is probably totally fascinating and interesting. I would still probably be looking over every couple seconds to be like, well, what are they doing? It'd be like it being at the zoo. You have to watch them.
Yeah. I'm very I'd be curious what they're ordering, to the bill, to just how it all goes down. It'd be really embarrassing for them because I would just be totally weird on it. I'd be so yeah.
And we're people who don't normally get starstruck, but we would watch them.
You know what's so funny? Last week I talked to Conor McGregor. I got Conor McGregor on camera. And he is a big star, but I've seen him so many times. I wasn't even part of me in the back of my head, would you be starstruck if you're talking to Conor McGregor? Not starstruck, oh my God, but holy shit, I'm talking to Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I think there's always that moment where we get people on the podcast or in real life, and you're like, this is cool. I never thought I'd be talking to this person or whatever, but Conor McGregor is not my top 10, coolest people that I want to hang out with kind of thing. He's a big deal. He's famous, but it doesn't really doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I interviewed him last week, and he is a big deal. He is a big star. He's one of the highest earning athletes out there. But as I'm talking to him, I didn't even realize hey, I'm talking to Conor McGregor. I'm like, yo, Conor, let's do this. And I'm just why am I talking to him we're friends, or he's some guy my next door neighbor? Hey, buddy. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I was just I was not in the right mindset.
That's funny.
Very. Actually, you know who I talked to last week? Who I actually wanted to give him on the podcast, and now I just don't know how people react to him, but I do find them interesting.
Who's
And
that?
I don't know. This is someone who I reached out. I didn't even tell you that I reached out to them, and I ran into them last week and I interviewed them, and there was a good interview. And I don't know if he's really considered pop culture, but Geraldo Rivera.
Wow, that's a random name. I did not expect that name to come out of your mouth.
Would you want to interview, or would you want to talk to Geraldo? Like, are you curious about him? It's okay if you say no.
Yeah, not really.
Here's why I say I'm just curious in him. I just think he's one of those guys who would just kind of be very blunt and be honest about his relationships with people and like tell it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect and I appreciate that. But
again, he seems like just a goofball to me.
An old man?
Old man goofball.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel like he would talk shit.
You know, it's so funny, bring him on the podcast.
I talk shit's always fun, but it was funny. I talked to him. I was like, "Hey, you just left Fox News. Did Tucker Carlson reach out?" And he's like, "No, I'm not really friends with Tucker." I'm like, "Oh, I just appreciate like that honest answer. Like, hey, we're not really friends." Like the way he said it. Like, no, he could have.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into today's episode. This is just random. But,
I know we are all over the place, but again, when we're all over the place, for some reason people like it. I don't know why, but okay.
Yeah.
No, this whole thing started off because I think I reached out to you, I don't know, like a week ago, and I was like, "Did you know that Elvis Presley was naturally blonde?" And you were like, "No." And so then this sparked our Hollywood is weird because there's so many things that people just don't know, fact from fiction, or just, again, I go back to strange Hollywood facts throughout the years. And so we got on that topic, and I guess the whole thing with Elvis, and maybe there's a lot of people that knew this, and I just didn't, but he used to use like shoe polish to darken his hair, because it like started off as something so simple, like he thought it made him look more handsome, and then it became his thing. And now everyone to this day knows Elvis with the dark hair. It was that super handsome look. And if you would have paid me $1,000 and said, "What's his natural hair color?" I would have said, "Oh, absolutely. Like black or brown, dark brown, whatever." Blonde would not have been in my top 3.
Did they show him blonde at all in the movie?
I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, but if you go back,
you didn't see the Elvis movie?
What is it?
You didn't see the Elvis movie?
No, did you?
Honestly, I saw the first half of it because then I got a little bit.
The fact that you just were like, "What? You didn't see it? No, you haven't even watched it, really?"
I saw like half of it, and then I kind of got a little bit bored. And I know people love the movie. In
the first half, did they show him blonde?
No, not that I remember.
Interesting, because I went and like Googled, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like there are old photos, of Elvis with blonde hair. It's weird. Like it's just not what I expected. Elvis, blonde hair. Yeah, I mean,
did he look good as a blonde?
Or was a very good-looking dude with blonde hair, but I just always thought he had black hair.
So was this sort of like just a marketing thing for him when he went dark, or is it just like the style?
What I read was that he thought he looked more handsome with darker hair, so that's why he started doing it.
Gotcha.
He's a good-looking dude with blonde hair, though. My God, it's Elvis.
Yeah,
funny. Didn't know that.
Listen, I'm wondering how it would change. I'm trying to picture Elvis later in his career with blonde hair, and if that would change the trajectory of his career. But I guess, because he did have it was just the branding alone with Elvis.
Yeah.
Do you know who owns actually the Elvis licensing?
Oh, wait. I do know this. Hold on. Was it Michael Jackson or something? No, that was the Beatles stuff. Who owns the Michael Jackson catalog?
Shaquille O'Neal. Not the catalog, the licensing to the brand. He owns the brand Elvis.
No.
I'm pretty confident with it. I'm not trying to put some weird stuff out there. Shaq has Marilyn Monroe, Elvis.
Seriously?
Yeah. He doesn't own Elvis. So Shaq there's a brand called Authentic Brands Group.
Yeah.
Shaq is the second largest shareholder in the company. The actually other guy is a billionaire, and they own a bunch of things. One of them is Reebok. One of them is Marilyn Monroe, Muhammad Ali, David Beckham, and yes, Elvis Presley. So they basically own the brand.
I did not know that. That's actually totally fascinating information.
Yeah, it's Forever 21. Shaq owns them all. He's J.C. Penney. He's the second largest shareholder in all those companies.
That's crazy. By the way, I just as we were going over this, I realized that Amy Adams also not a natural redhead. Did you know that?
Blonde. I did not know that.
Yeah, she's got blonde hair.
She went red, huh? I wonder if that was just like her agent said to her, "Go red."
Maybe she just had that like blondish with the red highlights, and then she accented, like went darker red, because that's kind of how I know her. I know her as the redhead.
You always get between Amy Adams and what's the girl that Sarah Basha Cohen is married to?
Oh God, what is her name? And people are screaming it right now.
They're all Isla Fisher, Isla Fisher.
Isla Fisher, yeah.
I always get confused between the two. Like when you picture them, if you try to picture Isla Fisher, and I always get confused with the two.
Who's the other person you said?
Isla Fisher, and who's the actress we just talked about?
Are you talking about Amy Adams?
Yeah, Amy Adams and Isla Fisher. If you try to picture them in your head, I always get confused between the two.
Oh, that's so funny. I do not.
I have to imagine them to have competed for jobs together.
Oh, I'm sure. I think a lot of these people cross over with having to compete for jobs with one another, especially if they look a little similar or whatever, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Give me another random kind of thing that's going on.
Another one. This is super old, but with all the articles coming out recently with Ricky Martin and getting divorced, someone pointed out that Channing Tatum was in the She Bangs music video. Did you know that?
He wasn't a bartender?
He was a bartender. I had to go back and watch. I did not. Obviously, this was pre-Channing actually becoming super famous. And he literally it's a quick cameo. He's in there, making a drink shirtless. But he got paid apparently like $400 for 5 days of work to be in the She Bangs video. So if you haven't seen it, go Google it, watch the music video. But it's just kind of funny to see a young Channing in this video.
That's cool. I wonder if he spoke about that in an interview or if a fan kind of.
Yeah, because it'd be hard to notice it was him, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering how that came out. It's so funny. So one time I saw James Marsden on the street. You're speaking of jury duty. I saw him on the street, and I was like, dude, I'm a huge fan. I started, who's like a huge fan of James Marsden? I like him, but I'm not like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with James Marsden. Anyway, I saw him and I was like, dude, I loved you since Saved by the Bell. And I remember he was in Saved by the Bell, but I don't remember what he was in Saved by the Bell. And I thought that he was an extra on Saved by the Bell. And I said to him, I was like, dude, man, I loved you since Saved by the Bell, since you were an extra on Saved by the Bell. And he's like, he got really defensive. He goes, I wasn't an extra. And I was like, oh.
Did he have like a speaking role?
I guess he had a speaking role, but I thought he was an extra. And he got really kind of pissed off. Like, hey, man, I wasn't an extra. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. But,
You're like, whoa, calm, bro. It's Saved by the Bell. Chill out.
We should do it because me and you are constantly going back and forth and with random facts, but then we can't think of names. There's got to be a good Hollywood trivia game show. Don't you think?
That. Yeah.
Why isn't there I know they tried doing sports, or they're considering bringing back a sports trivia show to ESPN, but why isn't there a pop culture Hollywood celebrity game show on TV? I think that could do really well.
I think it did. Ellen was kind of the closest to having a game show with celebrity names. Remember when she would do the rapid fire and you'd have to name the celebrity really quickly or the time would run out? She
Yeah.
did a bunch of like fun games like that had involved celebrities or their images, that kind of stuff.
I just miss the old-fashioned game show, like nothing that it doesn't have to be too complicated, like Deal or No Deal. I want it to be so basic where it's someone Jeopardy style, three guys at a buzzer and go, boom, James Marsden, boom, Saved by the Bell. That's all I want.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Something solely basic. All right, that was my. All right, what's next, Dax?
I think you were the one that pointed out this story, and I just don't think we've talked about it on the podcast. That's the only reason I'm bringing this up, because I think this conversation went back like a year ago when you told me Tim Allen had been arrested for like cocaine possession, served 2 years in jail. I didn't know any of it and my mind was blown. And so I wanted to bring it up on this episode because I just thought it was such a fascinating thing that he was caught with like 1.4 pounds of cocaine in this whole like big undercover operation back in 1978. He was facing a life in prison, but he ended up snitching on all the other dealers in exchange for a lighter sentence, got out of jail and just like completely changed his life around. But it's one of those like typical Hollywood stories where you have no idea. Like when you think of Tim Allen, you think of like Tool Time, Home Improvement. You don't think of this like drug dealer who literally went to prison for 2 years. I just think it's such a fascinating story. And I don't know if everyone knows about it.
Was he like the mule? Was he, did you see, actually it's on Netflix right now, Clint Eastwood, The Mule, but was he the one like just...
I think he was selling it. I think
he was actually selling.
Yeah, he was selling it in Michigan and ended up getting caught in a big drug ring bust and went to prison. And I think while he was in prison, decided to like change his life around. But that to me is just, this is a story that I don't know how it's not bigger. Like, how did I work for so many years in this industry and have no idea about this Tim Allen story for so long?
Yeah. Tim Allen, by the way, I mean, Tim Allen's had a great career, an interesting career, because he hasn't done a ton of projects, but he's always been successful. I mean, obviously, he did a TV show that ran for years. And then you think of the movies besides that Christmas movie and Toy Story, I guess. But I will say something about Tim Allen. Very, very nice guy.
Super nice.
And such a nice guy. And it's weird because I didn't realize how nice of a guy is. Like, just like a happy, nice, cool guy.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. And it might go back to this moment in his life. He has clarity. He changed his life around. He's a different person. And so he views Hollywood and fame in a different way than a lot of people.
Yeah. And I respect that he still does stand up and he doesn't like kind of tour. He just does it because he enjoys it. And that's like how he started. So, cool guy.
Okay, here's one. Did you know? Okay, I'm going to have you guess, actually. How many brothers and sisters do you think Dennis Rodman has?
So, the way you just put that out, he definitely doesn't have like 3 or 4. It's got to be some odd number. It's got to be something strange. I'm going to say brothers and sisters. I'm going to just say 9. Now, you know what? I'm going to say 11, just to throw something odd out there.
That very close. Very, very close. 29.
Yeah, that's not close. Wait, so say this again. Dennis Rodman.
Okay, so years ago, he had said that he actually has 46 brothers and sisters, but apparently his dad heard him say that and came out and said, no. He only has 29 kids.
Only his dad. So it's not. Dad was like,
no, it's not 46. I only have. So I guess it's actually 28 because if he would be one of the 29. So 28 brothers and sisters.
28 brothers and sisters. So it can't be all with the same woman. We'd have to imagine.
No, I think his dad got around.
Yeah, I just wonder how many women he has. I mean, that's.
But think about when you become famous and rich, and all your like the people in your life come out of the woodwork because they want money or they just want to be around you because you're famous. Homeboy has 28 siblings probably hitting him up being like, hey, I'm having a rough time right now. Can you send me a little money in the mail? 28. I'm your brother. Help me out, bud.
Yeah. 28. I'm curious about his relationship with all his
I doubt
brothers
he
and sisters.
knows all of them.
He can't really. I wonder if he's even met all of them.
Yeah, no way. No chance.
And how do you choose which ones you're close to or the ones you kind of have a relationship with? I will say it's probably hard to kind of deal with Dennis now because I talked to some people that work with him recently and they just said he's just out there right now. He's just
Dennis Rodman. I've seen. So he.
It's worse than ever.
Did I ever tell you that he had a house down in Newport? So like when I was in high school, I used to see him all the time. So he had this pink house that sat right on Newport Beach, like right on the sand. And it was like you could literally walk up to it. Anyone could, but he would have a neon sign. And when he had a party, he would turn the neon sign to open, which meant anyone could come into his house and party.
Wait, what?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was like a neon open side that faced the water. And when you saw that sign on, it meant, okay, party's on, anyone can come in.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
So did you go in at all? Or?
No, because I was like high school at the time, so I wasn't strolling into his parties. But we used to go down, we'd hang out on the beach, and he'd be right in front of his house all the time. And we would see him always riding his bike. He would have it was almost like a biker gang. Him and his buddies would ride their beach cruisers around, go to the local restaurants. I saw him at a bunch of restaurants down there all the time. He was a local celebrity, always hanging out.
I mean, listen, he's an interesting guy. He's very unique. I think he definitely has some demons, but it's also kind of cool that if you have that money and you're just like, yeah, this is the type of guy I am, like I mean, that's the life. Riding your bike with your buddies on a Tuesday and then just go to lunch and just hang out all day.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
there was a funny moment. So my brother-in-law was asking my soon-to-be sister-in-law to marry him. And so we were tasked to, hey, go down there and like videotape them as they're like going throughout their day. And I remember they were going to this restaurant and we were like hiding in the bushes, videotaping him and his soon-to-be fiance walking in. And Dennis Rodman literally like rode his bike to the same restaurant, parked, got out, went in. So we have this video of like this engagement moment, and then Dennis Rodman shows up halfway through it.
That's so funny. Really funny. I have the wildest Dennis Rodman story that one day I will tell you, but I can't really say it now.
You've been teasing me with this story for a very long time.
And
you just keep telling me like, oh, once we make it big enough, or once we go on to like a Howard Stern type show, that's when you're going to release this story. So I've been patiently waiting in the wings for you to expose this story.
Yeah, I don't know. This story, it's a really insane story. It's just a wild Dennis.
Insane stories, like as insane as like having sex with a ghost. Have you ever had sex with a ghost?
I have not. I don't know if I'll do that at all, but
you're not into that?
No.
You're not into the ghost sex?
Yeah. Is that an actual real thing?
Yeah. Well, Kesha said she's had sex with a ghost.
What?
And same with Lucy Liu. Both Lucy Liu and Kesha have said that they've had sex with a ghost. So Kesha, I remember she told Ryan Seacrest.
By the way, I'm not surprised that Kesha said it, but I am surprised that Lucy Liu has said it.
Well, Kesha said she lived in this, like, I guess this flop house, whatever that means, in rural Canyon. And she said there was this weird energy that lived there, and it used to keep her up at night and wake her up. And it progressed into this dark sexual spirit. And basically that they'd like get it on or something. Very weird. And Lucy Liu also had like a very similar story where I guess she was doing an interview with Us Weekly. And she said, I don't know, some kind of spirit came down from God and it made love to me. She said, it was sheer bliss. I felt everything. I climaxed and then it floated away. It was almost like what might have happened to Mary. Like she literally felt like she could have had the next Jesus.
Is that TMI? Is that too much info?
It's weird info.
It's weird info, but it's
like this is full Hollywood is weird right here. Like people talking about having sex with ghosts.
But it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you're going on Jimmy Fallon tonight. Okay, the producer calls you. All right, you're coming on tonight. What should Jimmy talk to you about? Any crazy stories you could tell us that he could tee you up for?
Oh,
I had
100%.
sex with a ghost. Okay, let's go with that. You had sex with a ghost. Hilarious. Let's talk about that. So tell me what happened. It's just like, I would love to be part of those pre-show interviews. It's just so bizarre and weird.
You're like just picking through, like, please God, how can I make you interesting? Like, like, so Eva Mendes, I guess when she was young, she wanted to be a nun when she grew up. That was a story that for sure she told someone in a pre-interview.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I was younger, I wanted to be a nun, and then I found out how much they made, and so then I was like, never mind, don't want to be a nun anymore.
Those are the people who probably have the best stories from talking to celebrities, because they're just trying to find something unique. And like all these celebrities are like, all right, what do you think about this? I broke my foot, not by playing sports, but I fell down the steps being clumsy. And then they're like, no, that's not good. Like, no, it's just like just to dig through all the shit to find something interesting about these people must be pretty fun for a lot of these people.
And that same note, I wonder if there's either stories that they're like, oh, I don't even know if we can air this. And then other people where they're like, I just pre-interviewed you for 45 minutes and there's nothing interesting about your life. Like, I don't even want to do this interview anymore.
Yeah. You know what? Let's bail on this thing. Let's just not do it. Off subject a little bit, Dax. And I know this is not really regarding the episode. We're going to go back into some weird things because I actually enjoy this. You told me these random facts, but Minka Kelly.
Yeah.
She's been popping up on Daily Mail and the news blogs a lot lately.
Does she have the same publicist as Emily Ratajkowski?
You would think so, but it's like she just got photographed, her and Dan Reynolds, she's dating now, the lead singer of Imagine Dragons. They're leaving a spa in LA. Now she's leaving the gym. It's the most random places that they're at karate competitions. Why?
I posted this in our private Facebook group the other day. If you are not a part of Off the Record, go join our Facebook group, because I literally posted this when they were at that karate meet, and I'm like, do any of her boyfriends realize that anytime you date her, the paparazzi or photos come out of you all the time? Like every super high profile boyfriend she's been with, there's nonstop photos of them out in public going around. I'm like, don't you think you'd be like, this is really weird that I've never really seen a lot of photos of you by yourself, but yet every time we're together, there's shit tons of paparazzi following us around. I wonder how they found out about us being here.
Yeah, it's she's definitely working this. I shouldn't say she's allegedly, because I don't want them to come out and be like, no, we're but I'm telling you, there's a lot of red flags here. So she's keeping her name afloat. All right, back to the random these Hollywood is weird facts, because I find these fascinating.
Yeah, you want a weird one? I'm going to give you a weird one. James Lipton used to work as a pimp in Paris in the 1950s.
James Lipton?
Yeah, the host of the Inside the Actor Studio, that old dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be a pimp in Paris back in the day.
I sort of see it. No, that is so strange. I mean, that's kind of cool, but that is so strange.
Yeah, I guess he used to work in this after hours place, and he represented women kind of like an agent and took a cut of their pay, and that's just how he lived his life back in the days. And he finally told, I think it was Parade magazine, about this, came out and said, hey, this is the deal. This is what I used to do when I was younger. And I just, him out of that would not have been the career I would have picked for him to say.
No, not at all. I love that when you do one of these, when you do a magazine interview, you have to have one big reveal during the interview. Okay, we will do an interview with you. We'll put you in the magazine, but you have to say something that you've never said anything before. Tell us some little thing. Okay, when I was working
okay, here you go. Adam, I'm going to do a huge interview. What would be that one random fact that nobody knows about you?
It probably the Dennis Rodman story that I'm not going to tell right now.
No, come on. Give me a random fact that people will be like, what?
I don't
if you were playing Never Have I Ever, what would be that one thing that you'd I could get everyone else to put their finger down but you?
I don't even know. I don't have any random facts. I'm so big. I drive a Honda Accord. I don't know. Like people think there's no random facts.
I've never had a speeding ticket.
You've never got a speeding ticket? I don't think I've got a speeding ticket.
People always find that weird.
I've gotten tickets, but not speeding.
I've never.
Do you not speed?
Sang karaoke.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised you haven't, because I feel like you would love it.
I think I'm gonna do it for my birthday this year. I hate.
They're gonna go all out.
Like
I'm probably gonna go nuts.
I fucking hate singing in public because I'm such a bad singer that I think I just need to do it. Like I just need to have fun, go crazy for my birthday, and just do some karaoke.
What's your song going to be for singing? Do you have a karaoke song?
Good question. Maybe Pour Some Sugar on Me, or maybe a Bon Jovi song. I don't know. I need to put some more thought into this. I'm not sure.
Mine, like if I do karaoke, it's like Wagon Wheel, the Darius Rucker version or something like that. Like I got that, like fits my song, my voice, you know?
No, I need something crazy and loud where you don't hear how bad my voice really is and how off tune I am. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Again, random facts with Dax and Adam. No, and then I don't know if you saw, we had talked about this a little bit ago about Leighton Meester putting out, didn't she do a book about her life?
I'll tell you what about Leighton Meester. She actually did a song 10 years ago that I actually really liked. And there was like the one song she did and then never did it again. But I really liked the song. And then I remember when she was doing Gossip Girl in New York, and like I probably know about 4 different people that went on dates with her. Like it was just somehow when she was just a new star, everyone was like, she was in the New York scene. And I feel like all these guys I knew got to go like on dates with her. And I was like, it was kind of unique and interesting. But no, wait, tell me about this.
Okay, so no, this was a crazy interesting fact, but she was born while her mom was in prison.
Leighton Meester?
Yeah.
She was born while her
mom was in prison.
What was her mom in prison for?
So her mom was arrested for trying to smuggle marijuana from Jamaica to the U.S. And I guess there was like a big drug ring or something. And so Leighton spent the first few months of her life in a halfway house, and then lived with her grandparents for a while. But yeah, her mom was in prison when she was pregnant with Leighton, and then gave birth. Isn't that nuts? Wild story.
It's a great story for her. But it's a great story now because marijuana is legal, so you can really kind of like make fun. And she's like, yeah, I was born in prison. And she was also young enough where she didn't even realize what was going on. But it wasn't really just prison. It's a halfway house, right? You said?
Yeah. I guess she was kind of transferred from house to house.
It's, that's an interesting story for a producer.
That's a fucking fascinating story.
If you're doing a morning show, if you're doing one of these shows.
That's like gold standard right there of stories that someone could tell you, like, oh, by the way, my mom was in prison when she gave birth to me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of substance there, and that could be kind of fun, especially now with marijuana being legal. I think it's no one really judge you, but it's unique where that's a great pre-interview story. I hope she just revealed that part on a good show and not for Parade Magazine.
Okay, here's another.
The good juice for good stuff. Yeah.
Is there anything that you are afraid of that you maybe like irrational fears? Because I know mine. That is like a full irrational fear, and I know that it's irrational, but like I can't help myself, and that is cheese graters. I hate them. Every time I go to grate cheese, I feel like I'm gonna lose the tips of my fingertips.
I can understand that.
Even if I have like a massive block of cheese, it like really freaks me out. So you'll see people will post up photos. I don't know if you've ever seen this one where it's like a kid coming down a slide, but they Photoshop the end of the slide to be a cheese grater. Oh. It freaks me out. And like I know it's dumb, and my wife like makes fun of me because she's like, can't do the cheese grater, and I'm like, I don't know why, it weirds me out. But I think someone has upped me on the weird phobias, and that's Nicole Kidman, who's afraid of butterflies.
So no, it's funny. Before we get into Nicole Kidman, before you even told me about your cheese grater thing, the thing that I was going to say that I'm scared of is Indian food. And it's just, I just feel like it's going to rip up my stomach. To me, that's just, as soon as I eat it, it would just go in my stomach, and like the curry would just like tear it apart.
I think that's a pretty rational fear.
Yeah, it's just like, don't even get it near me. I don't want anything with curry. I just think I could see my abs moving like an alien inside my stomach if I
That's
had
cute that
Indian
you
food.
said abs, so you can see your belly.
We have abs here, okay? We can't afford food, so we have abs. So wait, what's about Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, so apparently she's got this phobia, and I don't know how the hell to say the phobia because it's like 47 letters long, but it's like lepidoterophobia. I don't know how to say it, whatever. I guess she's had it since she's a kid. She doesn't like the feel of butterflies' bodies, and it freaks her the hell out. So she doesn't like butterflies. Like, who doesn't like butterflies? That is the one insect that everyone loves, you would think. And Nicole Kidman, not so much.
Wow, that's interesting. Again, how did this stuff come out? It has to come out during pre-interviews, and the publicist
100%.
The publicist sits with them. I've done it before. I was representing a while back. I was working with one of the members on some singer, a young singer. This was like months ago. I forget the girl, and she, like, I had to do a pre-interview with her, and I was like, all right, listen, we're going to, I think it was like Us Weekly. No, so it was a singer. I forgot who it was, but we're doing the Us Weekly thing, 25 things you don't know about me. And I was on the phone with her, like, all right, tell me some stuff. And she's like, I've been to Paris and Italy, but I've never gone to Spain. I really want to go. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. So we're like digging to find random facts. Like, it's not entertaining, but it's a unique thing. I don't know anybody else who's afraid of butterflies. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who have it.
Well, clearly, if there's a phobia named after it, it must be a thing. There's a lot of weird people out there.
So how funny would it be is the next time Nicole Kidman goes on red carpet, everyone has butterflies. Like,
and they
Nicole,
release butterflies.
They release butterflies. Like, we're going to celebrate your new movie while letting all these butterflies go. Oh, no, don't do that.
We're going to release 2,500 butterflies into the wild along the red carpet.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
No, but I'm picturing, because I hate spiders too. I'm picturing them doing that to me, and that sounds horrible. Like, oh, we're gonna release 2,500 spiders on the red carpet for this premiere. I would shit myself.
Dude, so Nicole Kidman used to live in this building. I'm sure she doesn't probably live there anymore. Actually, I don't know, because she had property in this building when it first opened, but she's not really in New York too often. But the building was a pretty big building. And what you do is, if you're a car, your car goes into the garage, and then the car goes all the way up to your floor. So your car is on your floor.
Oh, wow. Like your garage is literally on your floor.
Correct.
Oh, we talked to that Real Housewife of Miami that had that, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like, she literally showed us her garage is on the 20th floor of her building.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, especially in New York City on the water, but...
So dope, dude. But what is the benefit of having your car on your floor? Like, wouldn't you rather have that living space up there?
I guess it could be considered storage space. I don't know. Some people just want to be super private where they don't see anybody. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? It probably helps with the groceries. Like, you're just unloading them from the car directly rather than having to go up and down an elevator.
But you got to imagine this building, maybe 20 floors. There's only 20 residents. They all have money that can afford the whole floor. So it's like you don't really see each other at all. It's just you go right to your floor. I don't know. I don't really know, but it's one of those random perks where you have money and it's just like, yeah, that sounds cool to me. I'll do it. But I gotta also think of the exhaust somehow. I don't know how that works when there's gas.
I'm not sure you just pull in and turn your car off, and then it goes up. You can't leave your car on and go up the elevator.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're too poor to even understand how this functions.
Dude, I have to illegally park my car in New York City on the streets every single day because I can't afford parking.
What happens if you don't get a ticket?
Oh, you know what all right, you want to know something I do? Here's my random fact. I mean, I don't care. I made a fake press plate on my computer and I laminated it. So when I park in the city, I put it on the front of my car and it says I work for New York Post, to Fox News, to CNN. And I put fake media credentials on the front of my car so I can park for free. I do.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
that's probably my random fact. It works probably 95% of the time.
And you don't get a ticket? No.
No.
Sick.
It's
Smart
just like
move,
these,
bro.
yeah. So I use a fake press thing to get out of tickets in the city.
That's really funny. Well, Angelina Jolie got out of something.
What'd she get out
of? A hitman taking her life. One that she hired.
What?
Yeah. So Angelina Jolie, I guess when she was 22 years old, hired a hitman to kill her. But then he convinced her to stay alive. So apparently while they were talking, he was, I guess, a decent enough person and asked if she would think about it and call him again in 2 months. And then something changed in her life and she figured it out and wanted to stick around. But she literally tried to hire a hitman to kill her and then decided, never mind. Do you think he saw her and he was like, holy crap, this woman is beautiful. No chance. Like, are you sure, lady?
Listen, I want to kill you, but I saw these headshots. You have an it factor. I think big things in your career. Listen, I want to kill you, but there's an audition for Tomb Raider, and I think you could do the part amazing. Do you really want me to do this?
Really speaks to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty unique that she found someone and the guy had the moral, like, he was like, you know what?
Moral compass to like talk her out of it rather than take the money.
Yeah. But honestly, with Angelina Jolie, I don't expect less because she's just so, during that time, she was very unique and kind of out there and wild. Now she's obviously very tame. It's funny. She's in New York right now. And you don't see her ever wearing anything sort of, she's so conservative now. She's never doing anything kind of scandalous. She's just a very good mom. But I'll tell you what, I saw her in New York City recently. I was more kind of starstruck, and not saying starstruck might not be the term, but sort of like kind of like, oh, that's them. Was her kids, to see the kids in person. When you see
them grown up.
Yeah. I was more like, oh, wow, that's the kids. And I was kind of like, I found that to be very more kind of like, interesting.
Can you name all 6 of their kids?
I couldn't. What? Shiloh.
Okay.
I know the nicknames: T-Bone, Shiloh, Rickshaw. I don't know. I don't know the names.
Rickshaw. Let me see if I can still do it. I used to be able to do it. So we have Shiloh, Maddox, Knox, Vivian, Pax. I'm forgetting the one who is damn.
That's insane that you know Angelina Jolie's kids' names.
I can't remember the last one. Damn it.
So funny and random. That's so funny and random. Let's end this episode on Dax knowing all Angelina Jolie's kids' names.
Well, all but one. Now I gotta Google it. God damn it!
So
Angelina
funny.
Jolie. I have to look at it because people are probably yelling at kids.
Even if the people at home know it, I'm like very impressed.
Maddox Show. Oh God, I'm so dumb. Zahara.
I would not have guessed that one. Even if it was multiple choice, I wouldn't have gotten that one. But I'm very impressed that you knew that. But you know a lot when it comes to entertainment news. We are the Hollywood Raw Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching it. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to the podcast, give us a review on iTunes. It's the best thing to do to support this podcast, and we give you a little shout out on air. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're on it all. We have a private Facebook group called Off the Record, which I highly suggest you guys join. It's a really cool community. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holtz. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best thing you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.